Good morning. Welcome to our last week of technology class. We're on week 40. So I just figured this week, it's our last week, and obviously it's been a very different school year, at least for technology, right? Because you guys have a big coming in here. And so we're not really kind of doing what we would usually do. So I was going to put together this video to share a couple of things. So first, I want to share some websites with you that you could use over the summer to just keep coding. So these are different coding websites that might be of interest to you. So I figured I'd go through and show them. And then we're going to end with a video that I found, which is pretty cool. And they show their predictions of what the world will be like in the next 30 years with the different technologies. And so that's really for you guys, because that's when you'll be in your prime of working in your career. And so really just thinking now, how could you prepare yourself for what the world is going to look like? And as you're thinking about your career and where you want to work when you graduate college, or even what you want to major in college, or even maybe what you want to take in high school, some electives and things, you could really start thinking about it in the future, right? And what the world will be like and how you could be a part of that. So let me show you guys. So Code.org, if you ever go to Code.org, you could go to this website, and they have on here under projects, they have a lot of projects. So they have project ideas for home learning. So this website is so amazing. If you click on project ideas, they give you ideas for the web lab, so you could create your own website, for the game lab to create your own game, the app lab, you can create your own app. And then they even give ideas. They give like specifics. They show you how to make a digital book report, a story, a journal or a blog, animations, images, just so many things. They even teach you how to make different apps. Look, a flashcard self-quiz app, a sneaky hidden puzzle app. So I want to just let you guys know that as you get older, there's something called the portfolio, and that's where you can really show your work. So for example, say you were an artist, and you had a lot of different artwork that you had created, you would put it all together into a portfolio that you could then share with people, right? And maybe this usually is on a website, right? Because nowadays, and then you would send them your website, and they could take a look and say, wow, look at all the work that this person created, right? And so with technology and coding, say you create your first app, maybe you create one over the summer. You could save it and add it to your portfolio, because one day when maybe you're trying to get into a computer science club, or maybe getting a scholarship for college, or you want to get into a certain program, you can show your portfolio. Look at these apps that I created, or this game that I created, right? This website. And that way they can see your skills, and they can see what you were able to create using code. So this is just fun. I mean, this is just for fun over the summer, but again, thinking ahead, thinking a couple of steps ahead, well, maybe I could use this in my portfolio, right? One day, and I could share with people the things that I've made. So I wanted to just show you Code.org. So of course, Code.org makes it so easy. They always have step-by-step of how to do things. They really do a great job on this website of just helping kids to create and really independently create through all of their guides. If you click on course catalog, so the other thing I wanted to show you is the Hour of Code, which we've done a lot of these together. We did the dance party with some of you guys. We did artificial intelligence, depends on what year you were here, Minecraft. So they have all of these on here. If you're interested over the summer, if you're at home, come on this website and try some of these. They can really be a lot of fun. You're using your brain, your imagination, and you're creating. Another website I wanted to show you guys was Tinker. So I've used Tinker before in the past. So again, depending on what year you were here, you might remember using Tinker. So they have a lot of online courses. Some of them are free, and some of them, they do charge like a fee. But again, I don't think it's any more than paying for like Netflix every month or something. It's like a monthly subscription that you could cancel at any time. But they do have a lot of nice courses. They have some beginner ones. They have intermediate. You could look through. I mean, there's so many of them that they have on here. So one of them might look really interesting to you, and you might want to complete it over the summer. Maybe you're like, oh yeah, I really wanted to design a mod or something for Minecraft, and that would be fun, or a game design. So check these out. So this is Tinker. Another one for some of you, now this would be, well, actually, let me show you CS First. So CS First has a lot more in their curriculum. They have just these shorter ones that you can play around with. They have their own hour of code, code your own hero, pitch your passion. I'm just kind of throwing them out. Animate your name, create your own Google logo. And then the ones that I usually use here are the multi-day ones that I use with the kids here. But any of these ones you can take a look at. And if you want to try them over the summer, you really just need to sign in with your Google account, and then you can try it. And then for the advanced kids who are really into taking it a step further, Code Academy, they have a lot on here. And this is really something where you could really learn code. So maybe you're interested in learning like HTML. That's very, very beginner code to write websites. Or maybe you want to try Python or JavaScript. You could click on some of these, and if it says beginner friendly, that could be something that you could pursue over the summer, just as an independent study. You could click on these courses and you could take them. And these courses are recognized by people who work in the industry. So this could really help you to learn about some of these different coding languages, and to be able to, and look at this. I mean, this takes 9 hours to complete. So you could set aside, even if say you're like, for 1 week, I'm doing a coding boot camp over the summer. I'm going to spend 1 hour every day. You don't even need to know anything, no experience necessary. They'll teach you HTML. So how cool is that? So I'm just throwing it out there because I don't want you guys on YouTube just draining your brain. It's like a brain drain. It's not filling you up. It's not growing any new brain cells. But with coding, it causes you to really have to think, right? You have fun, like with Tinker, it's a lot of fun. And you could really learn and grow your brain cells and gain skills that you could really use for your future. So that's really my hope in just sharing these things with you guys, is just giving you some ideas for the summer. If you happen to have some time at home, and instead of just sitting and just consuming technology, you could actually be learning and creating technology. And why do you want to do that? Because I'm going to be showing you this video in a minute where they show their predictions of the world in about 30 years, and it's pretty looks like a different world. And so I want you guys to really start thinking, how can I be a part of that, of creating, and how can I be a part of molding that to use technology for good, right? So you could do that by building up your skills now, so that you're like, oh yeah, I've created an app before. I know how to code that. Or I coded my own game when I was in 6th grade, right? So you can really use technology for good. You can start now. They have so many programs for kids your age that you can easily start learning these skills, and that way you will be prepared for the future and you will be able to be a part of it, right? Okay, so hang on, I'm just going to pause and I'm going to open up the video that I want to show you guys. Okay, so here we go. Enjoy.
By 2050, our planet will be a vastly different place. By 2050, artificial intelligence will be everywhere. AI-driven stores will allow you to purchase goods without cashiers or waiting lines. AI will diagnose and treat patients, manage transportation, and analyze massive quantities of data. AI chatbots and voice recognition systems will sound like and behave just like real people. AI will be implemented into robots. By 2050, robot dogs and other pets will serve as companions. Robots will dominate factories and begin to serve as teachers, cooks, pharmacists, law enforcement officers, athletes, and other professionals. In 2050, universal translators will remove all language barriers, and voice recognition will be ubiquitous. Hundreds of sensors will be installed in our clothes, homes, and overall environment to monitor our well-being and improve our lives. Computing will change. By 2050, we may run on quantum computers. Based on the properties of quantum physics, quantum computers could deliver massive leaps in computing power, outstripping any current transistor-based models. AI and computers will integrate into humans. Brain chips like Elon Musk's Neuralink will treat neurological disorders like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, spinal cord injury, and blindness. These brain chips will allow people to control computers and prosthetics with no physical interaction. By 2050, we may be controlling things with our minds and communicating through brain signals. By 2050, robotic prosthetics may be stronger and more advanced than our own biological ones. Prosthetic eyes and ears will enter the market, curing blindness and deafness. And in 30 years, like AI, virtual reality will be everywhere. People will try on clothes in virtual reality closets, and holograms will bring FaceTime to a new level. VR platforms will allow you to move around while staying still. We will be able to travel the world and experience life on other planets, all from home. In 2014, 320,000 new electric vehicles were registered around the world. In 2019, that number was 2.3 million. By 2025, global EV sales are projected to surpass 10 million. And by 2050, the majority of automobiles will be electric. Gas stations will disappear and be replaced with at-home charging stations, refueling vehicles in as low as 10 minutes. Automobiles will become driverless. As of now, Tesla vehicles already have autopilot features that achieve Level 2 automation on the Society of Automotive Engineers Vehicle Automation Ranking. Other companies, such as Google, have invested billions of dollars into self-driving technology. Currently, it's expected that fully autonomous Level 5 vehicles will roll out to consumers in the late to mid-2020s and become commonplace in the 2030s. By 2050, people will be hopping into cars with no steering wheel. Thousands of autonomous vans and semi-trucks will travel across country, delivering packages and shipments with no human interaction. Drones will do the same for shorter distances. By 2050, swarms of drones will be delivering small packages from floating or vertical warehouses. There will also be surveillance and security drones, along with drones for construction, entertainment, and agriculture. eVTOLs, or electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, will provide urban transportation. Currently, there are several working eVTOL aircraft prototypes. The urban market for them is massive, and studies have revealed that the technology could become highly profitable. One of the companies working on eVTOLs is Uber, who wants to make aerial ride-sharing a reality. There's also Airbus, who have their drone-like Airbus pop-up concept. If Uber, Airbus, and other companies succeed, we could see widespread adoption of the technology. By 2050, cities will likely have air taxis everywhere. But that may not work. Elon Musk says that roads must go 3D, which means either flying cars or tunnels. He believes the answer is tunnels. Right now, Elon Musk's Boring Company is digging small, experimental tunnels under cities. If Musk can significantly cut down boring costs, by 2050, cities will have thousands of tunnels underneath them. Another one of Musk's brainchilds, Hyperloop, will revolutionize long-distance land transportation. Hyperloop, the idea for vacuum maglev high-speed trains, could speed up to 700 miles per hour. A trip from Los Angeles to San Francisco would be only 43 minutes long, compared to a 6-hour car ride. By 2050, Hyperloop systems will certainly be constructed, and replacing airplanes may evolve into the most popular type of long-distance domestic travel. But for travel between continents, airplanes will remain dominant. With improved batteries, we could see electric airliners take to the skies. In addition, several companies are working to bring back supersonic aircraft. These aircraft are certainly not airliners, but small-scale jets meant to carry only 10 to 100 people. By 2050, we could have Concorde-like, but safer, supersonic aircraft soaring through the skies. Or, as an alternative to airplanes, what if we traveled around in rockets? Well, Elon Musk wants to use his Starship to transport people all around the world soon. In Musk's Starship, one could travel from New York to London in only 29 minutes. Our energy system is transforming. Over the past decade, the cost of solar power has plummeted. Due to economies of scale and improved technology, the price of solar equipment has dropped by 89% since 2010. The cost for wind power has plunged as well. Due to these decreases, new solar and wind investments are usually cheaper than natural gas and coal investments. However, renewables still have one major setback: energy storage. For utility-scale systems, renewables need a way to store excess energy from windy and sunny days for cloudy and calm days. To help with this, researchers are developing new methods to store large amounts of energy. Some examples include storing energy as heat in materials, compressing air, or turning air into a liquid. Although it remains to be seen which method is best, these solutions will certainly be implemented for large-scale utility in the future. By 2050, renewables are expected to provide nearly half of all world electricity. But that's not all. As solar and wind begin to dominate the energy sector, fusion power will rise. Currently, fusion power is purely speculative. However, 35 nations are collaborating on ITER, a $20 billion project in France to test the feasibility of fusion for power generation. ITER will work by creating a fusion-powered plasma inside an experimental machine. The walls of the machine will absorb the energy, using it to produce steam that will generate electricity with turbines. ITER's first plasma is planned for December 2025. By 2050, we could have fully functional fusion power plants, operating more efficiently than any other power source in history. With NASA's Artemis program, it's planning to land humans back on the moon by 2024. SpaceX, Dynetics, and Blue Origin are all working on landers for the project. After the moon, NASA wants to send humans to Mars sometime in the 2030s. SpaceX is even more ambitious. They are developing the Starship, a rocket that they hope will send humans to Mars by 2024. Once they get there, SpaceX plans to establish a permanent colony. By 2050, Elon Musk plans to have a Martian city with as many as 1 million people. SpaceX is also developing Starlink, thousands of satellites that will provide the world's most advanced broadband internet system. Other space companies such as Blue Origin, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and Virgin Galactic are all racing for space as well. In 30 years, we might have a permanent colony on the moon, space hotels in orbit, and humans on Mars. By 2050, our food consumption will be wildly different, mostly due to meat. Livestock contributes to 15% of human greenhouse gas emissions and uses 26% of the Earth's terrestrial surface. To feed our growing population while lowering emissions, we must move away from meat. Assisting with this are meat alternatives. Companies like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods have obtained billion-dollar valuations, supplying the rapidly growing meat alternatives market. In addition, plant-based diets as a whole are growing in popularity. Then there's cultured meat. Cultured meat is meat produced by in vitro cell culture. It avoids the slaughtering of animals and produces very minimal emissions. By 2050, we will likely have in vitro T-bone steaks produced for the masses. To meet the demand for increased plants in the growing population while escaping the uncertainty of the changing climate, farms will move indoors, vertical, and into cities. The vertical farming market is exploding. By 2050, there will be large-scale vertical farms all around the world, feeding the growing population while using very little land and water. As our food consumption transforms, biotechnology will advance. While prosthetics replace large organs, stem cells will regenerate injuries and diseases. Stem cells, which can be guided into becoming a wide variety of specific cells, will be used for therapies. Eventually, like brain chips, stem cell therapies could help those with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, but also those with type 1 diabetes, heart disease, burns, cancer, arthritis, and all sorts of other diseases. Another biotechnology is gene editing. Using CRISPR/Cas9 technology, scientists can now remove strands of DNA that are causing illnesses and replace them with different ones. In the future, scientists hope to cure lifelong inherited diseases with this technology. While we decarbonize the world's economy, we will utilize carbon removal technology. Carbon capture and storage will catch carbon emissions from a source and then transport them underground, leaving the atmosphere unaffected. Advanced technologies will remove carbon directly from the air and seawater. Additionally, some minerals naturally react with carbon dioxide, and we can use them to convert carbon from gas into a solid. I'm not sure which of these strategies is best, but in the future, we will certainly see their widespread implementation. If you enjoyed this video, it would be amazing if you like and subscribe.
Well, that was interesting. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I'm thinking, whoa, what is our world going to be like? So it's interesting, right? And of course, a lot of those things are people's, it's just people taking where we're at now and kind of making predictions about where they think it will be, where we will be in the future. But we really don't exactly know, but we can predict, right? Because we can see the technologies that we have now and see where they're heading and just how people are intending to use them and how they can help. So it was really crazy. I think just imagining like this vision for the future and how it just seems like I was amazed seeing those farms, right? How they're going to have like buildings with like, and they have little farms, and it was just so crazy. And spaceships flying around, like it just seems. But who would have ever thought even today, right? In 2021, they have driverless cars, right? And I remember it was funny when we had talked about them in class, right? And I asked you guys, how many of you guys would get in if the car pulled up and there wasn't a driver? And it was probably like a few of you raised your hand and the rest of you were like, I don't think I'm getting in that. I'm scared. And so it really does get you to start thinking, like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about all of those different technologies that people are working to create, or that they're kind of envisioning for the future? And where do you see yourself, as a part of that? For you, for all of you who are really interested in computer science and technology, you do want to work in that field creating, what types of things do you want to be working on? And for the rest of you who maybe don't want to really be creating it, but you're going to be a consumer, you're going to have to make a choice whether or not you want to participate in that. And what will your life look like? So it really is just getting you to think about all these things. So anyways, so I think I gave you a bunch of websites you could check out for the summer. And yeah, maybe just keep on top of what's going on in the technology world. It seems like it changes every day. Okay, guys, well, thanks for working hard this year. I know it wasn't ideal. I really wanted to have you guys come in the classroom, but we made the best of it, right? And so I'm just thankful that you all just put in the effort and just worked hard to make it possible. So have a super fun summer, and we'll see you guys. All right, bye.